Hello! How you guys doing today? My name is SpectrumDominus. This is IVinnieMagic, and we will be doing your 2018 WrestleMania 34 predictions today.
Hi.
So, as always, we are using Wikipedia's match list to tell us the matches.
WikiList!
Yep, we're doing this live on my Twitch channel. You can check the description down below for twitch.tv/SpectrumDominus. Check it out. You can watch our live videos. We do a lot of other wrestling content on the show. So come over and hang out with us. But we're going to go through each and every match as well as some thoughts on
Thanks.
face heel turns.
Face heel turns. Also, maybe, first match of the night. First blood is really not for this type of thing. But first match of the night. If anybody should
returns,
big returns.
Big returns, stuff like that.
Surprises.
Things that might happen. Yeah, exactly.
Predictions.
Predictions, essentially what we said we were doing. So, we're going to go the match order on that Wikipedia has given us. We're going to go pre-show 1, 2, 3, then we're going to drop to the bottom and go 13 through 4 because for some reason on Wikipedia they listed 3 pre-show matches and then started the championship match and worked down. So if you're following along,
I'm sorry, they've listed
Wikipedia,
which matches are going to be pre-show matches?
Yes, they already have the 3
look at
pre-show.
that.
They've already announced that.
Well, I had guesses, but now it's already
Yeah,
revealed.
so you can still guess, and I will guess too, and I will definitely win that one. So we won't go that route. I have the list of who's already listed as part of entered the battle royals for the men and the women.
Oh, good.
So you can see those names and
Good.
who lost in the cruiserweight tournament if you need that information. Now, guys, if you watch our channel, you know that there's a lot of discussion between Smart versus Mark. That kind of stuff. We're not going to get too much into that today, but I do want to point out that this is a case of, in the universe of what a Smark is, a smart Mark, someone who gets information about all the federations.
I'm
and
glad
watches.
you're defining it, because you're going to smart Mark, and I'm going, you've lost me with the lingo here.
Exactly. So I'll get to that. That's actually very poignant onto the Mark side when I get to that in a second. So they talk to each other in the internet community. They watch videos and read spoilers, and they know about stuff that's going on.
I'm sorry, what is that? That's a
Smark.
That's a
smart Mark. All right.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not me.
Okay, and that's very much me. And however, I live on the Mark side of thinking. However, I understand the concepts, so I get a lot of discussions with true Smarks about what's right and what's wrong.
You live on the Mark side of the smart side.
We're not gonna.
You know what? I'm just not gonna comment on this part. I live on the east side of the railroad tracks.
There you go. Vinny is a true Mark in the sense
How
of.
dare you?
How
dare you? A true Mark would not have even come here today. Mark McGuire is a true Mark. I am a true Vinny. And a Vinny in the hand is worth 2 in the Mark. McGuire.
So he's a true Mark, meaning
Mark my words.
he watches the shows and the information he gets is from the shows. He doesn't get any outside sources. He doesn't check WWE.com. He doesn't watch YouTube videos. He doesn't even know who Dave Meltzer is.
How dare you? I watch YouTube videos all the time.
About wrestling?
No.
Okay. And do you know who Dave Meltzer is?
Arnold Meltzer's brother.
Okay. So the point is that we will see a difference between there will be some difference between our predictions, and some of that will be based on things I've read, things I know, things that have been announced that he's not aware of because they didn't actually say it on the show. And this is a good gauge of what I mean when I'm talking about just because you think it's obvious that Roman Reigns was going to win the Elimination Chamber doesn't mean everyone thinks it's obvious that Roman Reigns is going to win the Elimination Chamber.
You know what? I kind of get what you're saying. I'm going to take that even a step further. That 3-hour Raw, I absolutely love, but I've never seen it. I'm a Hulu Raw watcher, so I only watch the 90-minute version of Raw. And there have been times where you've said things like, wasn't that a great Matt Hardy house match, something at a lakeside front
Never
palace.
said wasn't it great, but
no,
yes,
you didn't
I
say
did.
wasn't great, but you.
I asked your
but the
opinion.
point was, it was advertised, and I never even saw it. So I'm a loss because I don't watch the whole 3-hour show. I'm down to the 90-minute Hulu, and I'm a little too smarky for my own good. A smarkologist.
All right, so the first match they have listed here is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Now they have that listed as part of the pre-show.
That'll be a pre-show match. Yep.
I've already got something to say about that.
Go ahead, say it.
You know,
Okay.
no. It was this year, and I don't know what. I guess we should stick with WrestleMania. I'm gonna complain about something already.
Oh,
This isn't about complaining. This is about predicting.
Prediction. Yeah.
It's about
absolutely.
predicting.
We can do a complaint video later.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want.
Well, why don't we put the women in the Women Memorial Battle Royal? What is it? The Mae Young Trophy of Choice
No,
Battle Royal?
It's the People Bitch Too Much Battle Royal is what I call it.
Well, I don't know why that's not in the pre-show.
It
you
is.
know, it is.
Yeah.
They're both in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Well, just take my argument and just cut the legs out from under it. Then.
Would you like a list of the people that have already confirmed for the Battle Royal?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, so.
Oh, for the prediction, yes.
Yes.
That would be helpful.
Okay, so we have
Would you like butter on your biscuits? No.
Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, the Revival.
The Revival, Dash Wilder and Rob Farson.
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin.
Mojo Rawley. Ty Dillinger.
I expected it to be more people than that.
Matt Hardy. There will be a lot more. Up to
I
this
see.
day, I think every year it's been 30.
Yeah.
So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 listed. That's about half.
All right, so Dash and Scott, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Ty Dillinger, Matt Hardy's in there, Dolph Ziggler, Fandango, Tyler Breeze,
Correct.
Goldust, Heath Slater, Rhino, Zack Ryder, and Primo Colon.
Primo Cologne, which we saw last night on SmackDown for the first time in ages.
Yeah, where did he come from?
I have no clue. I guess Epico is still injured.
Can I ask something? Does Goldust make regular appearances on the 3-hour show? Because he's one of the things that gets cut. One day he came out and fought John Cena on
No,
my version.
he fought the John Cena. I remember that, and then he fought this week. He fought Matt Hardy.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
But aside from that, I can't remember what he's done between those two matches.
Okay.
So he's not a normal. I mean, he's there. He's one of the Zack Ryders or Mojo Rawleys who come out to lose to people randomly.
Oh.
All right, so
He's a smark.
No.
What isn't that called?
a jobber.
Well, yeah, a jobber.
Yes,
A jobber. Goldust is a jobber.
Yeah, he's pretty much a jobber.
Pretty much a jobber.
All right, so do you want to give your opinions or thoughts on this match first? Do we want to
Goldust is gonna win. The jobber. It's a jobber. It's a jobber's life. It's a jobber's win. You know what? I want to talk about Matt Hardy.
Jobber Battle Royal.
I'm interested in Matt Hardy, except that he doesn't need anything. I think he's on his way out. I think he's just here for another 6 months or a year, so they don't need to give him that. I would really love to see Baron Corbin be the first 2-time winner. Mojo Rawley, no, not interested in him being the 2-time winner. Dash and Scott, Wilder and Dawson, no. Ty, it's going to be Ty. It's going to be Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger is my pick.
Now, Ty Dillinger is your pick based on that. Now, when I remind you that there are 16 other people...
That might be what The Undertaker does. He might show up and enter this. And laugh at John Cena in the second row. That's what is it. The Undertaker shows up, enters the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And John Cena's like, dude, that's just really... I mean, come on. Dude. Okay, Ty Dillinger I'm picking because that's who I see on this list. So yeah, you're right. I won't pick him. Baron Corbin.
Okay, so Vinny's prediction is Baron Corbin.
It absolutely is. A 2-time Baron Corbin is my pick. They have been really trying to push him and then dropped it, and then they pushed him and then they dropped it, and they pushed him and they dropped it. What they're probably going to do before they drop it is push him again. That's what I think is going to happen.
So again, this is a case of Vinny not having the type of information that I would have as I sit here and I talk wrestling
How
on the
dare
show.
you?
And the fact that he isn't aware that Baron Corbin's where they dropped it is because of tweets he made, and he doesn't know Baron Corbin even tweets. And things like he doesn't know that certain people are coming back from injury and they're probably going to be surprise entrants into the Battle Royal. They
should fight John Cena if they get somebody coming. That poor guy. I really feel bad for you, John. I really feel bad for you. I mean, he gets accused of being a mark. I don't know what that word means. But.
So I'm going to guess that I don't know if Samoa Joe is ready. I don't think that if he was, they're going to bring him back here. I think that Big Cass is ready, and I'm going to guess that Big Cass is going to come back, be in the Battle Royal, and win it. But there are a couple other people that are like Big Cass that could come back and win this, like Samoa Joe, like Jeff Hardy, any of those people. Whoever is in this Battle Royal that hasn't been announced. The point I'm making is the winner hasn't been announced and isn't on the roster. The only person that could be in this Battle Royal that hasn't been announced that isn't coming back from injury is Elias. If Elias...
Is he injured?
He's not injured.
He's just
That's
disappeared.
He just doesn't have anything listed. So if he happens to be in the Battle Royal and they just didn't announce it, then Elias could win the Battle Royal.
I expected him in the Battle Royal.
I did too, and then they didn't. And I think they said he's doing a concert thing at it. He's going to come out and do a segment, but I don't know. I'm not sure. So next we have the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. It's, the same essentially the same thing, just with women. And we have the same approximate number of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13.
I'm sorry, but right before we move on to that, something you told me that I did not know was coming up was the Great American Greatest Royal Rumble of all time.
There you go.
That's
you want me to tell you about that?
No. You had mentioned it's coming.
Yes.
It's relatively soon.
April 27th, I think.
As wonderful as it is to bring people back for WrestleMania, you want to save those for the biggest, baddest Royal Rumble of all time.
Except that the biggest, baddest Royal Rumble of all time is, you're saying like Big Cass and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Yes, except that it's airing at 1 p.m. I don't know. Again, it's not like you are a comic book person, but do you understand?
Are you just going to insult me about everything I'm not?
Do you understand the concept of what is canon? Do you know? Have you ever heard that's not canon? Do you know what that means?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That's completely Greek to me.
So, Star Wars. Let's use Star Wars. You know the Star Wars movies. They exist. You've seen most, if not all of them.
I do know they exist, yes. I'm with you so far in the existence of Star Wars.
And then people wrote books.
Right.
All right.
That's not canon.
And then Disney bought that Star Wars and said, the movies are true. Those books are not part of the universe. They're not real.
Yeah.
They're not canon.
They're not canon.
That's what canon means.
And canon is a comic book reference?
It's kind of a term that's come from that. It's like, this comic book. You remember when I give you the Elseworld tales, the nail?
Yeah.
That is not canon. It's not actually part of the story. It's an Elseworlds thing.
Gotcha. So the Royal Rumble...
It's kind of a non-canon pay-per-view because it's not... It is. They can't not make it canon completely, but it's a house show. It's like when you go to a house show. Sure, if someone wins the championship, the title does change hands,
right?
But we don't put a lot of stock into it.
Okay.
They are airing it on the network, but it's 1 p.m. our time. It's happening overseas, and it's there. They're trying to build up the India base, but no one sees it it's WrestleMania, and then their next pay-per-view is Backlash. It's not considered the next pay-per-view, even though it's happening, and it's so...
Gotcha.
So I don't think... although there may be someone coming back for that because they need 50 people, I don't think that's as big of a deal return-wise.
Right.
That it happened 1 p.m. in the afternoon on something, while people were in school. It's on a Friday. It's not even on a weekend.
Do it at WrestleMania.
Do it at WrestleMania.
Biggest show of the year. Okay. So, good. I still stick with Baron Corbin.
All right. Okay, so Baron Corbin.
It's like when AJ Styles showed up at the Royal Rumble and didn't win. AJ Styles. I mean, you want to talk about something that's not canon. AJ Styles. That's all I gotta say.
So, like I said, Kaz, Hardy, Samoa Joe, Elias, Big Show, any of those, I think, those are your top 5 people in my opinion.
And Kane. Still,
Kane will probably be in there, but I don't see him.
Kane could be in there.
Kane could be in there, but
or in the Royal Rumble.
He could be in both because the Royal Rumble's not happening on WrestleMania. So
he could be in both. He's very, very talented.
So the women that are listed already for the Battle Royal.
May I?
Yeah, sure.
Sasha Banks.
Such a big.
Sasha Banks, Becky Smith, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Liv Morgan, of course, Naomi, Natalia, Ruby Riott, right? Sarah Logan. Is that right?
That's right.
Sarah Logan, Bailey. Bailey's going to be in it. Lana, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Mickie James, and of course, Carmella, Money in the Bank winner.
Miss
Carmella.
Money in the Bank.
Ms.
Money in the Bank.
Ms.
So, here we go.
Now this is just for, they haven't put any kind of
There's
stipulation on
nothing,
this.
just like the Battle Royal, they'll get a trophy. We'll
first
assume there'll be
ever.
a little bit push. It'll be first ever. And you gotta look at it like, I don't expect them to have 30 like the men, but they'll probably have closer to 20 at least. So there's 7 people, and they don't have 7 other people. This isn't a case where everyone is listed and they've left off. So we're gonna see some NXT people you don't know.
What about Paige? Is she ready to come back? Can I ask you
She's never
that?
coming back.
Never coming. She's showing
Probably
up every
never
once
coming
in a
back.
while.
She is literally listed as a manager right now.
Wow. Okay. Just checking. Even if she came back, I don't expect her to win. First ever, they're not giving it to Paige. I think they're pretty pissed at her for all sorts of things. Mickie James, Carmella, Sasha Banks. Yeah, Sasha's racking up the history. Naomi, Natalia, she got a little bit of a who's a what's it's for a while.
Yeah, and even picked up a pin on the champion a couple weeks ago.
Gosh, I kind of would like to see Natalia win it. That's weird. Yeah, I'm going nutty. I'm going nutty on this as well. Yeah, I'm going with Natalia. I would like to see Natalia win that.
He said nutty. I thought he said natty.
No, Natty
Sorry.
Nutty.
Natty Nutty. Natty is nutty.
She is.
She is. All right, so I believe one of the things that could have made this a better thing for me is if it was on the show and it happened after 1 or 2 of the title matches.
Okay.
If Bliss or Nia, one of them obviously leaves as not the champion
and then
got
in.
entered the thing, it might have made it more intriguing. Oh, maybe they gave Nia the title, but they're gonna let Bliss win the Rumble. Or Nia's pissed she didn't win, but then she comes back and win. You know, that could have been.
I like the late entrance after the title
Yeah.
match. I think everybody's looking at Sasha, Becky, and Bailey. I mean, fans are
Right,
looking at
and-
those 3, so I'd like to be somebody besides those 3.
Well, I want to
villain.
do a prop bet right after this before we move on.
I don't know what that means either.
That means one of the things like first blood or first match.
Oh,
or whatever.
gotcha.
I'm going to go with the storyline. Even though I don't think this is the right way to go, I do think that this makes sense. I think they can do... Like with The Miz and Mizdow.
Uh-huh.
I said that Damian Sandow was going to throw out The Miz to win the Battle Royal.
Let's say that again?
2 years ago or something. I said Damian Sandow was going to win the Battle Royal by throwing out The Miz.
Yes.
Right. And Damian Sandow threw out The Miz, but then got eliminated. So we still got the storyline we were supposed to without having to give it.
Right.
The storyline here is Bailey and Sasha. Sasha keeps screwing over Bailey. So Bailey is going to throw out Sasha here.
Right.
Because of the Elimination Chamber screwing, because of the Royal Rumble screwing. Bailey's throwing out Sasha. But they don't have to have Bailey win it. They can just have Bailey do that.
Yeah.
But I don't see a better choice after that fact.
Then
so
Bailey to win it?
I'm going to pick Bailey to win it.
And Bailey and Sasha
But-
is the final 2.
Charlotte should lose her title to Asuka. Charlotte should enter. Bailey should throw out Sasha, and Charlotte should throw out Bailey. Is what should be happening. But it's on the pre-show.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
I'll tell you what. Even if Charlotte loses, can I say that?
You can say that.
You're not gonna. Okay. Even if Charlotte loses, she doesn't need this. You know, this is a nice way to pump up somebody else.
I understand that, but I think if you look at... Well, no, that's not true. Because if you look at the first Money in the Bank, they gave it to Carmella. They're not looking to make it a big name person. They're not making... Yeah. So, yeah, I guess you're right. I agree with that. All right, so...
Natalia is you got all the young people coming up, and they keep ebbing and flowing with giving it to the young ones and giving it to a little bit of history, giving Randy Orton his due again for a little bit, you know.
Right.
And they just went through that with Natalia, and I think that they got a big push coming up for her. I'd like to see Natalia get history, the first, first
Yeah,
win.
it's kind of what I wanted for the women's title. Actually, I should say the Divas title. When the Divas title was new, I wanted Natalya to be the first diva.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've gotten so annoyed with her. I just don't want to see her on the show every week talking, and that would cause her to be on the show every week talking, like Baron was when he won.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I'm over her talking. If I list it from that, who I want to win because I want to hear them talk more every week, I want Becky Lynch to win. She's under the radar and no one's paying attention to her anymore, and it's like, where did she go? Becky Lynch.
Yeah, she's kind of has fallen under the radar.
So and now with assuming if Asuka wins, she goes over to SmackDown. You have Asuka there as a face. You have Charlotte there as a face. You have Becky there as the third face. If you consider her above Naomi, it's getting so crowded. You got to give, I don't know, but. All right, so the prop bet I want to do before we move on to the last pre-show match is who is the first person eliminated?
In which one?
In the women's Battle Royal. Now, the reason I do this is because there's an ongoing joke on the internet.
Uh-huh.
This is a Smart thing versus a Mark thing. So I feel like I have to.
If I had to pick somebody without knowing the internet joke, I guess Carmella is who I would pick.
All right, Carmella. So Mandy Rose was the first person eliminated from the Women's Royal Rumble, and then the first person eliminated from the Elimination Chamber. She is going down in history as the first person, and it's always talked about this and that. So I wanted to know if any inkling of that came through while watching the show, or if they had not. So, all right. So the last one is the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, guys, my brother is
the Cruiserweight is in the... Oh, yeah, the Cruiserweight. Gotcha,
yeah.
Never mind.
My brother is not a expanded universe guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch 205 Live. He doesn't watch NXT. All of the 205 he knows is what they put on the Raw shows, if it shows up on the 90-minute version.
If it makes the cut, which it doesn't.
Which he said most of the time what gets cut is the Cruiserweight stuff. So... I'm not sure he even knows who Mustafa Ali is.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't. It was a tournament. Well, Enzo Amore was a champion.
He's the champion.
Well,
that's what I was going to say. Enzo's the champion.
Except he's been fired.
Come on.
Enzo got accused of rape, and he's not in the league, and hasn't been since the Royal Rumble.
He's been fired since the Royal Rumble?
Before the Royal Rumble.
Aww.
So... where they started up a tournament, and it's been running since first round 1/30/2018 was the first round. January 30th.
January 30th was the first round of this tournament. Oh, is this the final match of the tournament at WrestleMania?
This is the final match of the tournament at WrestleMania.
Well, they timed that out really well.
Yeah, it was
that's
like we better fire Enzo right now so we can get this tournament in by WrestleMania.
Yeah, if they had another 4 people in the tournament, he'd have got fired 2 weeks sooner.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. It is a face versus a face. These 2 guys are friends. They didn't go the route of face-heel.
I do know both of them.
Okay, well, that's good.
Only because of the bit where they were all around the ring and Enzo roasted each and every one of them.
Okay.
That's which I thought was brilliant.
It was. Enzo was the best thing to happen to 205 Live.
He actually, for me not knowing any of the people around the ring, he gave each of them a personality for me by roasting them. I knew who each person was by Enzo's description of them, and I thought that was the best way to introduce me to 10 people.
Yeah, it was well done.
It was very well done. I'd fire that guy.
And they did.
Yeah. He's no Nick Cannon. Mark Cannon. Sorry.
All right, so here we are. We have Cedric and Mustafa Ali. Without watching it, you don't know the backstories. You don't know who
I
does
don't need
this.
backstories. That's just to distract you.
Are you always wanting to pick first? Do you want me to go first?
Okay, I always want to pick first.
Okay, so go ahead.
And you can take this to the bank. Cedric Alexander is going to win. It's going to be Cedric Alexander. It's very, very close. Very, very close. But he is just edges out Mustafa Ali alphabetically by last name. I mean, and just barely. Just barely. But Cedric Alexander.
All right, so I agree. That is exactly why I picked Cedric Alexander as well. Because he comes up first when they Vince McMahon doesn't know who either of them are, so when he's picking, he looked at the list alphabetically and said, "Pick that guy."
Cedric
That's
was
exactly
listed
why
first.
Seriously though, from a serious perspective, I feel like this was a mistake. I feel like the correct thing was have
Mustafa then.
was to have Drew Gulak beat Mustafa Ali and have then Drew Gulak beat Cedric Alexander to be the champion.
And then Drew Gulak would have been in the main event.
No, he just would have won the match
versus
and been
the
champion.
Undertaker.
And then they could have set up Cedric Alexander versus Gulak from there. But they decided to go this route. Cedric has been chasing forever. He's failed multiple times. This is his redemption story. So Cedric wins this here. All right. Yeah. On to the main roster.
This is the main show. This is WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Like first hour of, what, 5?
5 hours-ish. 10 matches listed here on the main show. 13 total when you count the 3 pre-show matches.
Okay. And they're not listed in order, are they, on Wikipedia?
No, they're listed in an order.
They are in an order?
They're just
not just plucked about Wikipedia all over.
Listed.
And kind of clouded around. And
kind of a dumb question is, are they listed in order?
Well, they're listed in order here, so...
All right, so we're going to start at the bottom and working our way up.
Okay, yeah. I don't care if we start in the middle and fan out.
All right, so number 1 is Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Match of the night. That's the match I'm waiting for.
That is the match. Let's see. That's the match I'm looking forward to the most. That one and the main event.
Yeah,
are the two.
To me, they're all main events. So
okay,
don't be so rude. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. One of my highly looked forward to matches of the night. I like how all through WrestleMania, it's like, this person hasn't wrestled in a long time. Put him in a tag team match. This is one of those situations for Daniel Bryan, I think. And he looked great. He did look great.
He did look really good.
For 4 minutes.
He's been training nonstop for 3 years.
Yeah.
He had never stopped.
He looked
just not
good.
Wrestling
He looked good.
In matches. But yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this is the main event of WrestleMania. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens. Have you seen SmackDown? This is the main event of WrestleMania.
Might be the main event of SmackDown.
This is.
You're saying that this is more important than Triple H and Steph versus Ronda?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
That's the other main event.
Okay.
Where they can only all wrestle half a match.
All right, so the important thing to talk about with this one is the stipulation of Zayn and Owens gets their jobs back.
If Zayn and Owens win, they take over the company.
No.
No? That'd be fun. Because Daniel Bryan is going to become a wrestler, and then they're going to name Kevin Owens as the...
Well, it's like... Shane McMahon has already stepped down.
He has, and Bryan is available to wrestle.
So the two thought processes here are Zayn and Owens have to win
because
so they can come
they're
back,
not getting kicked out
because they're not getting fired,
right.
or they pull a WrestleMania 30. Where are we at? 32, and Shane can lose the match and still be the manager of Raw the next day.
Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. No. That was horrible. But I don't think that's what they're doing here. The hope is for a surprise. The surprise would be that Kevin and Sami lose, and then they have to, they write themselves into a corner and then write themselves out of a corner is more fun than they absolutely win. But so in that case, I'm going to say they absolutely win. They're not going to write themselves in and out of a corner for that. Kevin and Sami are going to win. And Daniel Bryan, let's see, I guess, man, Shane's been taking a lot of losses. I'd go ahead and pin Daniel. They're not going to do that. All right, they pin Shane. Yeah, they pin Shane. I don't want shenanigans at WrestleMania, so there will be an end to the match, and it'll be Shane McMahon. What comes after that? Let me think. Vince McMahon mad at Shane for stepping down. I'm trying to think of what's coming up. I see Vince McMahon telling Shane, "You don't step down. You break them. You did well until you apologized. You should have broke them like a thoroughbred or whatever." That sounds like Vince McMahon. That's how he speaks, isn't it? Yeah. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn win? I guess that's the question. We'll do another prediction show.
So, yeah.
And everything else hits the fan.
So I want to go Kevin and Sami too, only because I think it seems to me it's kind of obvious the other way. It seems so obvious. Daniel Bryan comes back. You're not going to let Daniel Bryan lose on his return match. But everyone, this is like, my chat's even saying it now, so it's like, it's something that we've talked about. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn lose, and then they get rehired on SmackDown.
Yeah, Raw.
On Raw. I mean.
Yeah.
I find that to be bad for other reasons.
We got the shakeup coming up, so.
I didn't know if you knew about that. That was what I was going to say. I find that bad for because of the shakeup.
They mentioned it on the show.
Oh, okay. I wasn't
It's the only
sure.
reason why I know, but they didn't.
I wasn't sure, and that was part of the thing where I said I know things that I'm not sure you know, and I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if you knew about that. So, okay, well that's good. I'm gonna go with there are a couple matches like this in the. Are they really gonna give this person a loss?
Yeah. And I always say yes.
And of the ones that I'm looking at, I feel like this is the one that's the most yes. I feel like letting Shane take a pin and lose doesn't hurt Daniel Bryan in any way.
Yeah, and that's kind of Shane's job. That's kind of what he does.
It's kind of what he does. It really is kind of what he does.
He puts on a superstar
performance, but then still
and
loses the match.
Loses.
Yeah,
and then shows up the next night as if he didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Sadly, I assumed you were gonna go Daniel Bryan here. I'm going to agree with you. No, I'm not. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna say Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan win.
Okay.
And
they pin Sami Zayn. They gonna give him the big Kevin Owens pin? They gotta let Sami Zayn pin Shane McMahon. Sami Zayn is gonna pin Shane McMahon.
Pinned. I hope you're right. Yeah,
I mean, this sounds like wishful thinking even to me now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and Sami gets pinned.
Okay.
All right. So, the next match they have is Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
Speaking of, how could they give them a loss? Yeah, that's Triple H and Stephanie win that. There's no reason that Ronda Rousey has to win her first match, and there's no reason that Kurt Angle has to get a pin over Triple H. Triple H is never there. He's got to keep his superstar status. Stephanie is them showing up on Raw. What I want to see is the bad guys just hooting and hollering how they're the cock of the walk. The McMahons. I think, and Kurt Angle gets pinned by Stephanie. No, by Triple H. We'll say Triple H.
Okay.
Actually, Stephanie might. I bet Stephanie pins Kurt Angle and they let it fly. I'm just gonna say that so when it happens, everybody can go, boy, that IVinnieMagic is he's just like a soothsayer. That's what I want people to say about me. Stephanie McMahon pins Kurt Angle, and Stephanie McMahon's wearing black heel boots.
All right. So the reason I switched back to Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, was because.
You switched your
was because I was going with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
But I think...
Just because I'm right, you don't have to change it to a wrong answer.
But I think that they're not both happening, is what I'm saying. You picked them both, so you're going to be right on one of them.
They are both happening.
No, they're not both happening. If Triple H, Stephanie wins, then Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon wins. I'm thinking that Kurt, Ronda winning and Kevin, Sami winning makes more sense. But I switched because I thought you went the opposite way, so I was going opposite than you. So, Jesus.
Do what I pick affect what you think's gonna happen in the future? Is that what do happen here? That's how this works?
No. Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey are winning.
That is absolutely not happening.
That is absolutely not happening.
Absolutely not happening.
Stephanie McMahon is tapping.
Stephanie McMahon is tapping to Ronda Rousey. That's what's supposed to happen.
And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are winning, and Shane is getting pinned. There we go. That's what's actually happening. They're not going to give it to both heel sets for that match. I mean, they've mirrored this pay-per-view Raw and SmackDown. There's this tag team match.
Yeah.
Until they added Rusev, they were both triple threat matches, and it's like that. It's not like they ever planned on making it a four corners match. It was originally a triple threat. It was always going to be until they decided to look at the merchandising sales and say, "Shit, Rusev deserves to be in that match."
Yeah. Plus, Shane said, "I'm listening." No, seriously. What?
He actually said, "Heard" or
Yeah,
point taken.
he was like, "Heard, y'all." Yeah, I remember that. I remember Shane saying, "Heard, y'all."
So,
and then they added him to the match. I don't think it has anything to do with money. You don't understand the McMahons. It's what is best for the people. I'll explain it to you later.
It's absolutely not what's best for the people.
It's what is best for the audience member who definitely knows what's best for wrestling. If there's one thing Vince always says, it's, you guys tell me because I don't know what I'm doing.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so the next match is a triple threat match for the WWE Tag Team Champions.
See, I'm excited about this. This is the main event for me. Actually, I was going to be silly because the Ronda Rousey, Triple H, and Stephanie McMahon match, and Kurt Angle, that is the match I'm most looking forward to. Silly enough, that and the Daniel Bryan one. But the Usos match is going to be the match of the night. That's going to be the best match. That's probably the one I'm looking forward to. Usos New Day has always been amazing. Bludgeon Brothers actually sullens it a little bit, but it's going to be fine.
I think that the Bludgeon Brothers don't sully it. I think that you don't realize how good the Bludgeon Brothers are because they've never been given a chance to show you how good they are. Luke Harper is an amazing big man.
Yeah, I do. I do appreciate that he's tall.
But he hasn't gotten the chance to really show it since his Intercontinental title run.
I'm being snippy, but I have seen Harper and Rowan tear it up. I know they've got it.
I feel it. You said earlier that there's no ladder match on the card, and I think I heard a rumor at one time that this was considered. It should have been the ladder match.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, but belts above the ring, the triple
this should have been the
tag team
match.
This is actually going to be the match of the night. Absolutely going to be the wrestling match of it. This is the one I'm most looking forward to, I think. The Usos, New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers. And, man, I'm making all the crazy predictions, but I really want the Bludgeon Brothers to win it, is what I want to happen. Usos' first WrestleMania. That was an amazing fact. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bludgeon Brothers.
I do not think that's as crazy of a choice as you think it is, because I too am going the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
Usos have had it long enough, and there's no need to give it back to the New Day.
No. What you have now is months of, unless any of they get traded, get traded, that you got months of Usos versus Bludgeon Brothers and New Day versus Bludgeon Brothers. You got that.
Not to mention you get to now every time someone new gets the belts, you get to give those jobber tag teams a title shot. Breezango wins a battle royal and gets a title shot versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Feed them to the Bludgeon Brothers to give the Bludgeon Brothers a win. So you get that stuff happening again. It's time for the Bludgeon Brothers, so that's good. Next up, they have the Raw Tag Team Championship match: Cesaro, Sheamus versus Braun Strowman, and to be determined.
This is the one I am most looking forward to. Actually, this match is probably. I'm a big Braun Strowman fan. Wasn't sure about him going into this match. I really liked him coming out as Braun's twin brother, Brain
Strowman.
Very much enjoyed that. Almost think they should have saved that and pulled it off for WrestleMania. They kind of think they should have gone with that and have him go under the ring and put on the glasses and go back under the ring without the glasses and Clark Kent. And was it Corey that went, "Oh my God, it's Braun, where did he come from?" That cracked my ass up. Oh man, that was good commentating right there. This is actually the match I'm most looking forward to. I'm a big Braun Strowman fan. I think that Braun is going to win. I wanted a one-man tag team champions. I'm the tag team champions.
I did too. Here's the problem with the with that.
The one-man tag.
The
team
one-man
champion?
tag team championship. And this part I'm actually stealing from another YouTuber. Someone said this, and I agreed with that assessment.
He doesn't watch your show, so he'll never know.
How do you know?
I
Anyway,
really, this is our show.
Braun is probably not getting pinned again until he's going for the world title.
Okay.
He's going to be unbeatable. He is going to be the Brock Lesnar from this point until he either wins the world champion or he goes for it and loses to Roman Reigns, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want him to take a pin.
No.
So if he becomes the tag team champion without a partner,
He's got to take a pin one day.
he's got to take a pin at some point.
Okay.
So the only thing that people, again, this is an NXT thing that you don't know, people are talking about is one of the things you could do is bring in the Authors of Pain, and they they beat Braun. They're this humongous monster tag team that should be coming up soon.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hurt Braun to take a loss to him, but that's the problem with a one-man team. If you give him James Ellsworth.
That's the comedy. I'm going to Hornswoggle's not around anymore, but I expected him, the comedy, to come out with
My
Hornswoggle.
chat has been saying Hornswoggle for
really
a week, 2 weeks.
Hornswoggle. James Ellsworth is a really good.
That's the best one
Hornswoggle.
because it's also the first person he ever fought.
Oh yeah.
My number one pick would have been James Ellsworth if he was still with the company.
And I wanted him to come out with Kane. I wanted it to be two monsters again on top. And I hate Kane. I hate you, Braun. I hate you, Kane. Hey, I have to pick a partner. I pick Kane, who I just had this huge thing with.
See, and that's why Elias was pretty high on my list because they just had that. For
Elias
me, my
would
list
be
would
dynamite.
one.
I'm a big Elias fan.
Me too. I love Elias. Number 1 is Braun by himself. Number 2 is James Ellsworth. Number 3 is Alexa Bliss because of the Mixed Match Challenge, which you don't watch.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Elias. Then 5 would be Bray Wyatt because Bray brought him in, and now Braun's the alpha male. Could be a good storyline. Then you got a few returning people like Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho,
Rey Mysterio. I've been thinking about
Neville. All of those are serious possibilities.
I was thinking, how high could Braun throw Rey Mysterio at somebody? That's as soon as I thought Rey Mysterio, I was like, oh, that's fun.
So when I have that list of people, if you walk out with Kane, I'm kind of annoyed. That's why I don't want Kane. When you brought up Kane to me off stream, and I said not the way I would go, that's because I had so many better options in front of him. I feel like that's a big mistake to give him Kane.
Well, I've been let down by WWE before.
I haven't until...
You haven't?
No, WWE up to this date has been perfect, 100%. Last night's SmackDown was better than the Monday Night's Raw, which was better than last week's SmackDown. It just keeps getting better and better. It's never made a mistake, ever.
I see. Listen,
but the first one will be the WrestleMania 34.
Okay, I just want to start a mistake. Forget it. It's fine.
So,
who wins?
Before we do who wins, we should pick
who his tag team
partner is.
It's Kane.
Okay, you're saying it's Kane.
It's 100% Kane.
And I'm going to go with Elias.
Soothsayer.
I'm going to go with Elias.
Yeah, Elias is the same thing as Kane. It's actually better.
It's actually a better thing than Kane.
Much better.
And that's why he doesn't have a match yet. That's why he hasn't been announced for the Battle Royal. So, and that's why I didn't pick him as the winner for the Battle Royal, because I think he's going to end up being the partner.
Yeah.
I hope it's no one. Really hope it's no one. I don't mind if he takes a pin somehow, some way later down the road.
I asked my 5-year-old son. I told him that his partner, he was going to pick somebody out of the audience. It was what I said he was going to do.
Well, John Cena's in the audience.
And John Cena's in the audience. If he picks Ted, the guy next to John Cena, how rude is that?
I've decided on my tag team partner.
You! And John's like, yeah! And he's like, no.
Not you. You!
John. Oh, God. Ted, the guy next to John Cena. That's who he picks. But I asked my 5-year-old if Braun Strowman picked him, would he go fight? And he said he would. He would fight alongside Braun Strowman and win the belts.
Nice.
He also said that he would take Cesaro and let Braun take Sheamus. He would let Braun take Sheamus and he'd take Cesaro.
Oh, good. He likes Cesaro?
Yes.
Good.
No.
Should.
He thinks Sheamus is harder to fight.
Oh, he would beat up Cesaro.
He says, I'll take him. You take Sheamus.
That's funny. All right. So then who wins?
I guess Braun. I don't know if that's just wishful thinking. That's what I want to see. I really like Cesaro. Shazam! Cesaro and Camus. Yeah.
All right, so this one was super obvious to me.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Braun was winning 100%.
Yeah.
Then they announced the lineup for the greatest Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Now, everything video I've seen, people always say, now remember, lineups are subject to change.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bar are defending the championship against the Hardy Boys in India. So, yes, they could absolutely change that, but how much work, what do they change it to? Braun and...
The Hardy Boys, which is a return of Jeff Hardy then.
But do they say Braun and... Do they turn it into a triple threat match while trying to fit 50 people in? Do they just say Braun and Elias or Braun and his partner versus the Hardy Boys?
And throw the Bar into the...
throw
the Bar into the
I'm
Royal
a
Rumble.
little worried that...
I guess, if I had that information, then I would have, picked Braun to win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the greatest Royal
Yeah. You pick Braun as one of the final four, one of the final five in the Royal Rumble.
I'm gonna stick with Braun because I just think you have to find a way to get him out of the main event picture for a few minutes.
Yeah,
this is how they tend to do that. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, give them the titles. This is one of the ways they get main eventers out of give Roman the Intercontinental title for 2 months just to get him out of the way for a second. If Braun loses this match, he has to come out of WrestleMania wanting the world title.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stick with Braun and his partner or no partner, but Braun is gonna take the titles. It gives him his first championship. He's deserved a championship by now.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, listen, before we move on, I gotta say, I'm usually the women fighting in WWE. I haven't been on board with the women's revolution, but right now I am honestly interested in. Wait a minute, you think I'm being silly? I am honestly interested in the women's matches for the first time in since Lita and Trish Stratus.
Well, that's what.
And it's the first time that I'm kind of on board. And the 2 women's title matches, I'm actually really excited about.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know what you thought I was heading into. I was being serious. I'm looking forward to both of the matches.
Okay.
I wanted Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax at WrestleMania, and I got it. And Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, I wasn't excited about. Asuka.
Yeah. You've been calling her Asuka since we did the draft, and you didn't know who she was.
Well, now I do. And Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, I wasn't excited about. But Asuka versus Charlotte,
Asuka. Just ignore the.
I don't know. Alaska. Anyway, Alexa Bliss and Nia and Charlotte Flair, Asuka. I am excited about both those matches and we'll watch every minute of it. I'm going to
watch every minute of it too. I'm not excited about both of those matches.
Really? Which one are you less excited about?
The Asuka Charlotte one.
Really?
I don't like Asuka.
You don't like her?
No.
Well, then you're going to be excited about this because she's getting beat by Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. Charlotte Flair is going to keep it, and Asuka, instead of winning the belt at WrestleMania, is going to take her first loss, and Charlotte Flair is going to get another piece of history.
I wish that was the case.
That is what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
What's going to happen is, sadly, and this is... Now,
this is, again, I know this is a stretch. This is my prediction.
Yeah,
I know I'm reaching.
I understand. And here's the thing. That is what I would like to have. That is what happens in my WWE when I'm scripting it. Charlotte is the greatest woman wrestler of all time. Not currently on the roster. Of all time. Better than Moolah. Better than Trish. Better than Lita. She is the greatest of all time. And there's no one now or any other time that deserves to beat Asuka than Charlotte. There's no reason to drag out her extended streak and have it lose at SummerSlam or on some random show. There's no reason for that. WrestleMania is the place to do it. No one else. However, I said earlier in the thing, it's more to the viewers than to you, but about, the Elimination Chamber and knowing that Roman Reigns was going to win and He didn't.
I didn't know.
Okay.
You're saying about me. I didn't know he was going to win.
The reason we knew, Smarks knew, was before WrestleMania last year.
Right.
Dave Meltzer, he is Mr. Information, predicted and said the story is, the plan is that Roman Reigns, that Brock Lesnar is going to beat Goldberg, become the Universal Champion, and keep it till WrestleMania 34, where Roman Reigns will take it off of him.
Gotcha.
So when Roman didn't win the Royal Rumble, that everyone thought he was going to win except me.
Right.
And I mean you and certain people thought, but all the Smarks people, all the online people, a lot of them did. When he didn't win it, they instantly knew he was going to win the Elimination Chamber because he had to win, and that was why. But my point has always been, if you don't read those spoilers, you don't. It's not as obvious.
I was all Strowman.
That's what I tell people. I said
for the title at WrestleMania.
I said that
it
most
was
people
so
I talked to,
me.
it was Strowman, and then if it wasn't Strowman, it was Seth Rollins with the big push he was getting.
He was getting an amazing push, and it was not even close for me that it was Seth Rollins because it was so obviously Braun Strowman. I completely.
And unfortunately, the thing is, this one has now come out where the rumor for what's going on with this.
Right.
So you haven't heard it.
Are you talking about? Oh, with Charlotte.
Asuka,
I see.
Is that Asuka is going to remain undefeated until WrestleMania 35 and lose to Ronda Rousey?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, you know what? They have Ronda Rousey there, and she needs it. You know, and that's what I said when she came in. I said Ronda's going to get Asuka. When she came in, I said, yeah, Ronda gets the first pin on Asuka. Forgot about her.
Yeah, so I don't know if that'll happen. I think that although is the plan now, I think that between now and next WrestleMania, they'll realize that Ronda is not the right person.
Yeah.
She is not coming together as with mic skills, her wrestling still to, whatever, and they decided not necessarily go that route. But for now, that's the thought process, so they're going to go down that route until they change.
Yeah, until they change their mind. That does make sense. And Ronda Rousey, I was sitting there going that Charlotte deserved it, and I like the heritage and pedigree and all that stuff, and I wanted her to have it.
The only thing bigger than a pedigree like hers is the being able to bring out the viewers from the outside, the UFC thing. So
new female monster. I love what they're doing with Ronda Rousey. Just the way her character is evolving.
I loved it at first, and I was hoping she would get better on her delivery on the mic, and it's just what she's saying the right things, she's just not saying them well.
Yeah.
And I feel like they need to give her a mouthpiece for a little while.
Brock
goes off to UFC and let Paul Heyman talk for her.
I don't mind it so much. I like her greenness as part. I mean, it just seems. I understand what you're saying. It pulls you away from the show. It's like she's not ready, but for me, it's like she's. I don't know. It's part of the greenness for me that is endearing. I don't know why. She's doing all right. I like Ronda. I like the potential.
I like the potential,
Ronda
and that's
Rousey.
what I said. I said when I did my Ronda rant, go away, come back when you're ready to sign a contract and be an actual wrestler.
I remember
and she
that.
did. She did. She went away. She came back.
That's not all
she's
you said.
actually being a. She's being an actual wrestler, and she's doing okay. But the problem is she's doing okay at the top of the card, and that's the thing. It's like, and yes, you need to give her help, and so that's why they did it as a tag team thing. That's why they did it Kurt. But I feel like Ronda versus Charlotte or Ronda versus someone with experience is better than Ronda versus Stephanie in her first match when we are seeing that she can't quite wrestle.
Yeah.
So, but we'll see. Maybe she'll surprise me once the bell rings. All right. So, we're doing pretty well time wise. We have next Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax.
Yeah, I'm really torn here. I like Nia. I like a monster.
I do like a monster.
I like a monster, and I want Nia Jax to take it, but I love Alexa Bliss as well, and she did not pop for me until she won the belt. And once she won the belt, she caught my attention.
Time?
Yes.
Yeah.
This time that she won the belt, and now I want her to hold it longer. I want her to beat Nia. I want her to hold it longer. I want Nia should be the monster on top, but I want Bliss to hold it longer and just build up her her Mizness is what I call it. The ability to just win a match in one way or another, no matter what. But if I'm gonna pick, I'm gonna pick Nia Jax.
You're gonna pick Nia Jax.
I'm gonna pick Nia Jax.
Here's the thing. There are certain wrestlers that come along that just have to be champion.
Okay.
Imagine Alexa Bliss without the title. I mean,
right.
What is she? I mean, literally. I mean, kind of like The Miz.
Mm-hmm.
When you said it yourself, when he doesn't have that title, they're just looking for the next chance to put it on him, because that he is that title. That title is him. That's why he is one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. Alexa is kind of that same character. Go just in your head, quickly write the story going forward with Nia as the champion and Alexa chasing. Or what? Alexa taking time off? Because what does her storyline become? Where does Alexa go?
It sucks.
It
It's
really
Alexa
sucks
versus
at
Nikki
that.
James is what it turns into.
It turns into nothing.
Alexa
it really
versus
turns
Mickie
into
James.
nothing. Not only that, Nia is great for a monster.
Yeah.
She can be a great monster.
Right. But she has to have a heel turn.
But monsters are supposed to be heels.
Yep, she has to have a heel turn to be the best monster she can be.
She should be the champion with the belt as a heel and have a face chasing her. Then you say, Nia's a champion, who's taking the belt off of her?
Who's taking it? Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey, I guess.
No.
Again, Nia just turned face. When is she turning heel? Because everyone who's taking the belt off of her, you have a shakeup coming, sure. But who's taking it off of her? Everyone who's taking it off of her. Ronda, Asuka, Charlotte. They're all faces.
Mm-hmm.
The belt has to be on a heel.
Natalya
is a heel.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
coming to take it. No,
No,
that's
no,
fine.
no.
But she's on the other show. She can come over. You're saying Natalya is going to beat Nia? No. The only people that
just
can
trying to
beat
give
her,
Natalya props.
Yeah, the only people that
She's
can
not
beat
gonna
her,
be around forever.
even Sasha and Bayley right now
Right,
are
right.
faces. One of them's about to turn, but it's like they've created a situation where they almost turned the wrong person. Now you can't turn Alexa.
No,
But
she's the Miz.
Nia has to win this as a heel. Or, she can win it as a face, I guess, and then turn heel, but they made a mistake turning her face at this point then. Because it just happened. When did they turn her heel? 2 weeks later? I'm going to stick with Alexa, and a lot of that is with my heart. I think that this is one of the times that they make the wrong call and probably give it to Nia.
As a face. And
But
that's
as
what
a
they're gonna
face,
do.
it's a mistake. It is a mistake as a face.
Okay. No, you're absolutely right. It is a mistake that they're gonna make. I if I'm guessing.
Yeah, I look at
see
this
that
and
it's
say
a mistake.
it's a mistake, but I think they're going to make it.
I think they're gonna
gonna
make
make
it.
that mistake. So me putting Alexa is partially based on my love for Alexa, but it is seriously more about I'm hoping WWE makes the right call. Do a roster split, turn her heel on the other show, or something.
One of the people just wrote in a comment that is something that I wanted to say a little earlier, and it is I would love to see Carmella cash in the Money in the Bank on the wrong show.
Yeah, and they've been talking about this in my chat for months.
I
And
love that
and
idea.
unfortunately, when the Money in the Bank ladder match happened, I said they have been very specific to say this is a championship match for the SmackDown Championship. Again, anything can be done. They can write it any way they want. They can have Shane McMahon lose the match and still be the Raw champion.
You know what would
that
be
is a
fun?
big fat fail.
They could have her turn it in on Nia. Have Nia Jax win. Have her turn it into Nia Jax and lose. And then have them say that was not a contest. And give it back to her third time. Wait, you still have
that'd
this.
be kind of cool.
Yeah. And gives Nia another win.
Very good. Yeah. All right. So next we say United States Championship match: Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Rusev.
This is the match of the night. This is the match I'm most looking forward to out of the entire. This is kind of the main event for me.
Main event for you.
Kind of the main event for me. Rusev Day, Jinder Mahal, Bobby Roode, and Randy Orton. Randy Orton is the current champion. Bobby Roode just lost the championship. I think Bobby Roode is going to... I think he's going to rack up championships for a while. He's going to win one, lose it, win one, lose it, win one, lose it. He's just going to be racking up numbers for a couple of years.
Okay.
And that's what everybody else did. Randy Orton... I just don't get I don't get what they're doing with him. The push he had 2 years ago, the push he had last year, the push he had this year. It's like he's always one of the best things going on win-loss record-wise, like Sole Survivor, Royal Rumble winner. He's always comes out on top. I just don't feel it when he shows up. I don't feel that he's The Rock. I don't feel that he's, I don't feel it, but he's got the record.
I completely agree with you. He is in the eyes of WWE, and when I say that, I don't mean the WWE universe. I mean the WWE machine. He is one of the top 3 guys. The John Cena's,
I see that in his record, and I don't feel it. Yeah.
And he used to be at a time before this new blood came in.
Right.
It was John Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton. He was at that time. But it's not there anymore. And
that
people
being
still
said,
cheer from that love from that time.
The audience seems to feel it.
Yeah.
In the arena. And that being said, RKO out of nowhere is the best move since the stunner. Best move since the stunner.
RKO is the modern day stunner. I will agree with you.
And he's got the move too, and still doesn't do it for me. But I love to see him. I love to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care for Randy Orton matches. I care for a few spots in a Randy Orton match, like when the RKO actually hits. But as far as the other stuff, I could care less about the DDT off the second rope or that power slam he does.
I do like the power slam.
The quick slam. Yeah. It's okay, but I know it's coming every match. It's every once in a while I'm like, wow, it's impressive that he was able to do it to Rusev.
It's impressive he didn't break his neck.
But overall, I don't get impressed by his wrestling anymore. And he very rarely gets on the mic. He doesn't talk.
No.
He lets his RKO out of nowhere go. He's like, someone yells at him, and then he picks up the mic and drops it and RKOs him. And it's exciting, but it's like, you're not building a storyline for it. I agree. I'm a little... Randy has slowly, over the years, slipped down my list.
And you called him from when he had a broken arm, and he was 98%.
Oh, yeah. I'm 93% healed.
He was your guy since about 60% healed, I think.
Yeah, I loved Randy Orton when he was just a fresh rookie. That was good stuff.
Oh, it seems obvious to me that they're going to let Rusev win it. The only thing is, Rusev is the out of nowhere surprise. It's obvious to me because it's not obvious. But the only thing is, when they go to India, are they sending Jinder Mahal in the Royal Rumble to win it, which is possible, or as the champion? When they go to India, is Jinder Mahal winning this match right before the 50 of all time? Or are they putting Jinder Mahal in the Royal Rumble, at which point he actually has a chance to win it in India?
That is a good question.
And for that reason, I was thinking, because this is the U.S. title, right?
U.S. Championship.
Not the Intercontinental, it's Miz. This is the U.S. title. Jinder Mahal walking into India with the United States title is a little bit of fun.
Okay.
And Jinder Mahal walking into India and winning or losing the 50-man Royal Rumble as one of the last 4 is fun for that audience. If Jinder Mahal makes it to the final 4, everyone in the arena is on the edge of their seat, even if they don't win, even if he doesn't win it. So, I've talked myself into
all 4 of them.
Either way is possible. Rusev. I want Rusev to get a push because when the audience grabs somebody, I want them to have a push.
Yeah.
I missed it. I didn't see it.
What? No, it didn't. I was seeing if the U.S. title match had been announced yet, and it wasn't.
Okay.
So
if I'm going to make a pick here, I'm going to say that, just because of the India thing, Yeah. Jinder Mahal. I'm picking Jinder
That's
Mahal as
a
the winner.
Pretty good pick. You kind of talked me into Jinder Mahal a little. I feel like when Rusev first got put in, when he made the pin on Randy Orton, I said, in fact, when the match was announced, when Rusev's music hit as his partner, I told my stream, Rusev's going to pin Randy Orton and get added to the match. And they laughed at me, and then he did. And then I was like, we were talking, I was like, well, he got added to the match so he could take the pin. Because that's what he's been doing lately. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, but wasn't he announced for the Battle Royal? And then I looked into it and he was. I was like, if he was already announced for the Battle Royal, then he wasn't added just to take the pin. He got added because of his merchandise sales. I don't know if you know this. Yeah. Rusev is number 1 in merchandise sales right now.
I would have guessed that just because I could see it in what people are wearing in the audience. I noticed his sales go up from what the audience is wearing.
Day stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so that's what got him this push is his merchandise sales.
I can't believe he bested the New Day, but wow.
Roman Reigns is
has bested New Day as well?
Yeah, he's Roman Reigns the only person that
who would buy a Roman Reigns t-shirt?
But everyone would buy a Roman Reigns t-shirt. He's the greatest thing. Anyway, so I was like, well, this is his push putting him in the match. He doesn't have to win it. He got the push just by putting him in the match.
Absolutely.
But then I was like, could he win? He could win this. He could win this. And then the problem was he beat Jinder Mahal on SmackDown this week. And I'm like, they're not going to give him a pin to get in Rusev.
Oh, yeah, Rusev beat Jinder Mahal, yes.
They're not going to give him a pin over Randy Orton, and then a pin over Jinder Mahal,
and then
let him win the U.S. title.
No,
so
you're
to
right.
me, he's out.
Okay, that's
and the obvious person to take a pin is Jinder Mahal.
Right.
So since he's the obvious person to take a pin,
I have a theory about that when we get to Seth Rollins.
That it might be Jinder Mahal.
Right.
Randy Orton has the title for one reason and one reason only.
To get his number up one more?
To give him the Grand Slam championship.
Oh, the Grand Slam. Okay.
He got the Grand Slam. He got his title. It's boom.
That's right. The one
Just
he's
like
never had.
John Cena needed to win one title to tie Ric Flair.
Yep.
They gave it to him and took it right off of him at the Elimination Chamber. Boom.
You're
just gone. Just
numbers.
so they could make that number 16 so that when he wins it next year at WrestleMania, he breaks the record. That's like a pre-prediction there.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy got it. He doesn't need to hold on to it. He's probably not. So to me, it comes down to, man, I so want to believe it's Rusev, but giving it back to Rude, it just doesn't make sense. And you're Jinder. I'm gonna go with Rusev, which is a bad call.
It is.
It's a bad call.
We agree on something.
It's a bad call because I mainly because of the argument I put up yesterday. It's a good call for the argument I put up yesterday, I should say. I said you push WWE, whether we want to, it does not matter what we want. It doesn't matter what the crowd wants. Nothing matters except for what the money shows.
Okay, yeah.
It's a business. Whether we like it or not, it's a business.
Right.
And right now, the money shows that Rusev deserves the push.
Right.
So if he walks out of WrestleMania, before they even announced him, people were saying, well, Rusev's the number 1 seller. Why isn't he getting a push? And I said, guys, WrestleMania is going to end, and one of these throwaway pay-per-views is going to be either AJ Styles or Shinsuke Nakamura, whoever wins, versus Rusev in the main event. Yeah. He's going to get the push. It's going to happen because of his numbers.
The pay-per-view is going to be called Rusev Day.
Rusev Day, yeah. But the point I'm making is, I called this push was coming right at WrestleMania,
Judgment Day. Who gets Judgment Day?
What?
Judgment Day is going to be Rusev Day.
Rusev Day.
Yeah, it's going to be Judgment Day. I don't know if that's coming up with the X
I don't think that there is a Judgment Day. They haven't
had
had Judgment Day in years, I think. I don't know when the last Judgment. Someone look up when the last Judgment Day was. Anyway, so from a money standpoint, that lends in. Rusev has deserved the push and earned the push. Give him the U.S. title. See if his numbers keep going up. Maybe even give him a face turn. And if that happens, he'll win the world title if his numbers keep going up. But the Jinder thing is the other. I honestly think it goes to either Jinder or Rusev. Now that you've talked me into the Jinder thing, no one sees Jinder coming. He seems like he's the one that's in there for the pin. just like Dolph was in there for the pin when the Roode versus Baron Corbin.
I did like that.
No one saw it coming. Giving him the U.S. title heading into India is kind of nice. 2009 was the last time there was a Judgment Day.
That's right. I was about to say that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, you would have been right.
I would have been right if I had said that.
So, yeah, I think your Jinder Mahal is a good outside-the-box thinking. I think I'm going to go with Rusev Day just because you talked me out of Roode and Randy Orton. So, okay, so those are good picks. And then when Bobby Roode wins it, I'll still be happy because I love Bobby Roode. But
Glorious.
all right, so the next match is the match that every smark in the world is looking forward to the most. And this, to me, is the P-Break.
Okay, I am
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've skipped a match.
I am literally looking forward to this match.
I've skipped a match.
This is the match I'm looking forward to.
I'm sorry.
This is my match.
Skipped a match. This is the
If
hardest
you call
match.
me a smart, then because I'm looking forward to this match, then you just are not.
So this is the match that, to me, is the hardest to predict.
You're not.
It's the triple threat match for the Intercontinental title.
The Miz.
The Miz versus Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor.
Easy to call, obvious match. It'll be 18 minutes. Everything about it is just written in the stars.
Perfect. Do it. Keep going.
Do it?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Okay. Miz loses the belt to Finn Balor.
That's your prediction?
Yeah.
All right. Write it down.
Yeah, and let's move on. Now, next we have... You covered up what I was reading with...
I didn't cover anything up. I just made an extra. Now I've covered it up.
It's all gone. It's all gone off the screen. Miz... No, not Miz gets pinned.
You said Finn and Finn Balor.
No, I said Miz loses the belt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Finn picks up the belt. I didn't say Miz gets pinned.
Sorry, that's what I thought you were saying.
That's not what I said.
It's not. Let's
no.
That then. Okay. So for me,
do I get to pick who gets pinned?
If you want to,
Miz. It's just not what I said, but it is the Miz that's gonna get pinned.
Okay. So the thing that you may or may not, well, you do know because you watch the show, is Miz just had a baby.
He did, and it has a tiny hand because they showed it.
Yes, and most babies do, but
and then showed up to work anyway.
That's great, but he's probably not going to show up to work so much as he's going to take a leave of absence because of that. So,
I didn't even think of that, but that's absolutely true.
Belt is coming off the Miz.
The reason why I know the belt's coming off the Miz is because he says I'm 30 days away from becoming the longest running champion of all time, and I realized, wait a minute, there's no way that can be. Oh, he means not days in a row. Overall, so he's going to lose it.
So he can lose it and come back and get it
come
later.
Back again.
Exactly.
And him leaving for a while, coming back, winning the belt, and saying, "I've told you, the belt doesn't make the champion. The man makes the belt a champion. Belt. Man makes the belt championship worthy. Not any belt can hold up any man's pants. This champion makes this belt worth your dockers."
So then we come down to we have either Finn Balor or Seth Rollins is winning it. There's a great argument both ways. Now, before they announced this match, in fact, back Royal Rumble time when people said Finn Balor is winning the Royal Rumble, when he was considered one of the favorites,
right?
I said, nope, WrestleMania is going to be a 4, 5, 6-man tag team match for the belt. They're just going to throw them all in there, and the club's going to walk away with the tag team belts. And Finn Balor is going to fight Miz, and Finn Balor is going to walk away with the Intercontinental belt, and the club is going to come out of WrestleMania with 3 belts. That was my prediction.
That was before Dean Ambrose got hurt.
No, it was after. Bar already had it by then, I think.
I see. The two are not related. The
two are not related. You're
just
right.
Remember Dean Ambrose out of nowhere wanted to bring him up.
Yes. So so I predicted Finn Balor back Royal Rumble time. Then they announced the match, and he's in it. So I want to pick Finn Balor just so I was right that far in advance.
Yes. But I picked Finn Balor, so that affects what actually happens in the future.
It doesn't affect what happens in the future. I just, but Seth Rollins makes sense for a different reason.
All the sense in the world.
Go ahead.
For so many reasons.
Yeah. Like?
Dean Ambrose is gone.
Yeah.
Seriously, Dean Ambrose is gone. But also the ridiculous Seth Rollins push.
Yeah.
I love that storyline. I mean, I use that storyline as teaching fodder for my 5-year-old. And with John Cena. With John Cena, it's like, look, this guy never gives up, and watch what happens. He failed. Okay, never mind. Let's do the other. Seth Rollins never gives up, and he's in the match. John Cena, I started, and then John Cena turned out to be just
failure.
A failure.
A fan.
So, He's just a fan now. So, but the Seth Rollins, I mean, seriously, talking to my 5-year-old about, he lost his partner, he lost this, he's gone, he won this match, he's getting in. Look how good he did. I've been using him as never give up since John Cena let us all down.
Right.
And gave up.
John Cena gave up. That's nice.
So I tell my son, don't watch this guy. And he goes, John Cena. I said, forget his name. Just don't worry about it.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about him. Just call
him
Tim in the third row.
So here's the thing. There's a couple things that factor into this. This is the hardest one for me to call. Because there is a genuine case for Miz retaining the title and not going on leave because he's the Miz and loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's still even that percentage. But when I look at it as Seth versus Finn, Seth Rollins winning makes him a Grand Slam champion and the last of the Shield to become a Grand Slam champion. So giving him the win here means that all the Shield members are Grand Slam champions.
Really? He would be the last one?
Yep, because Dean was the Intercontinental and the U.S. He won the World title belt once, and he's been a tag team champion.
Right.
Seth is the only one that hasn't held the Intercontinental belt. He's held all the others. So giving Seth here gives him the Grand Slam.
Right.
But the other... So that's a piece... That's like a mark for Seth Rollins. But another piece of the puzzle
is a mark. That's what mark means. I'm all caught up now. All right, so Seth Rollins... If you're a mark, you'd think Seth Rollins is going to win.
So the other thing we got right? No.
Do marks think Seth Rollins is going to win?
No.
Smarks think that Seth Rollins is going to win.
No. Neither.
Who thinks Seth Rollins is going to win? Not even you.
Thinks?
Nobody. Not even you. Is the end of the story you picked Finn Balor? Except that I picked him, so you picked The Miz? Anybody but Seth Rollins. He's so smarky.
So
Smarkastic.
So here's the thing. One of the things I have to look at when I'm looking at Rollins and Balor is where they go from here.
I know. I do. I absolutely do.
Go ahead.
After The Miz goes away.
Yeah.
This is the first match for the first Universal title. This is just rekindling. This happens for. I'd love them to pass it back and forth for a year.
Just the Intercontinental between the two of them?
Absolutely. I'd love them to pass it back and forth for a year and have that be the biggest rivalry of WrestleMania 35.
And that's very good possible. That could happen.
It is happening. I
just decreed it.
It's done. It just did it.
But what I look at is, okay, the main event, Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns and keeps the title.
How the hell did we get there?
Calm down.
I've got things to say about that too.
No, will you shut up? Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns and retains the world title. There are ways to go with that. He fights Braun. He then fights Samoa Joe. Whatever. But if Roman Reigns wins it, if Roman Reigns beats Brock and wins the title,
right?
Roman Reigns Seth Rollins is a great feud and one of the rumored feuds for Roman coming out.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you get
that
Finn
makes sense.
and leave Finn on the Intercontinental level, Seth can go back in the main event picture.
Yeah,
I don't buy Finn in the main event picture anymore.
Seth Rollins had the push that if he loses this match, if Finn pins Miz, then Seth can, with that last push, jump right up to
back in the main event level.
Main event.
You can still even do Brock Finn, and people want Brock Finn and stuff, but Vince McMahon does not see that, and that's the way Vince doesn't see Finn Balor as that main event guy. They gave him the world title when his merchandise was selling high when he first came in. He hurt his shoulder. They had to pull the title off of him. We know how long it takes to get back in the picture when you get hurt like that. Seth took a while too. But so it's just, I know this is the Smart Mark thing. Smart C, Finn Balor is a main eventer, but he's being portrayed as a mid-carder. And that's where he is right now. Seth Rollins is coming down for the Intercontinental title.
Yes.
Finn Balor is fighting on his level for the Intercontinental title.
And he's also got the Balor Club, so he can go anywhere as well. You can give it to Seth Rollins. He can get his Grand Slam before going up to the top.
Yeah, and that's why
Finn
I
Balor
keep wanting to go Seth Rollins.
has got the Balor Club.
The
and
only reason
anything.
I'm gonna go Finn Balor
Uh-huh.
is because Seth pinned Balor on the last thing of Raw this week.
He did, which is you said earlier about Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, Rusev getting the pin, and I was like, I saw Finn Balor get pinned, and I went champion.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
I picked the same as you. I'm going Finn Balor because of I think Rollins needs to get it. I think that giving it hit to him here and having him lose it the next night on Raw.
You and I are gonna be sucking eggs when the Miz win. He's like out of contention for us. We're just
that'd be great if the Miz wins. Miz should win. Miz is the right answer, but I also want him to get. I love the Miz. I think he should get some time off to see his baby. All right, so this is the match that the Smarks want to see the most.
Smarks want to see the most.
This is the everyone wants it.
I hate to drag us back and be a conversation anchor, but very, very quickly, I know they know. Yeah. What is a Smark again for real? A Smark is somebody who...
It stands for Smart Mark. And what it means is, someone typed it in chat yesterday, it is something that originally was said to mean people, wrestling fans, who want to be informed and knowledgeable, not just take the information that's given to us. So they go on the internet, they read stuff, they read merchandise.
So this is the one that Smarks want.
This is because they watch other promotions. This is one of, a lot of people consider the greatest match of all time, AJ versus Shinsuke in New Japan. So this is a rematch of one of the greatest matches of all time. I watched it and it wasn't that good of a match in my opinion. But they love the match because they love the style and they love the whatever. I don't care for the strong style stuff, so the matches are boring to me.
I've actually seen it advertised. They actually already fought, and I saw it on YouTube, but I didn't watch the match. But I know that they have fought before in Japan.
One of the viewers just put in there, and this is very racist of me, and I apologize to all the people that are offended by it. I didn't mean it. The the WWE's greatest Royal Rumble is in Saudi Arabia, not India, and it's not the same thing.
I'm sorry. Oh, it's in Saudi Arabia?
Yes. I did not know that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
I actually haven't even heard of it before.
You haven't heard of Saudi Arabia?
No, I have heard of Saudi Arabia, but the 50-man Royal Rumble I hadn't even heard of before yesterday.
Okay, so I don't know if that changes your Jinder Mahal because it's not actually happening in India; it's happening in Saudi Arabia.
I am so bad at geography. I thought Saudi Arabia was the capital of India. No, I really don't.
I didn't know. I knew it. I'm bad at geography too, and I know that's all over there. I don't know how how close or how far, but I know nothing about it. I know it's over there.
Wait. Saudi Arabia
is in the Middle East.
It's in the Middle East, and India is
not
where Indians come from.
Yes,
which is America. That's where Christopher Columbus found the Indians? Okay.
God. We're going to get banned from
No. I got this now. No, wait. Okay, so Jinder Mahal is going to win the U.S. title because Indians were found by Christopher Columbus. So I stick with Jinder Mahal.
Okay, good.
Just because of geography. All right. Let's get back to now that we know. And guys, if you want to know more about
India
or Saudi Arabia, then
so you got
let's just
Shinsuke
move on
Nakamura
to
versus
something else.
AJ Styles.
Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. Winner
becomes the champion.
Shipped off to Saudi Arabia. Let's see. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This is the main event of the night. For realsies.
No.
It is. It's the championship match. It's one of the 10 main events. It's
one of the yes.
Yeah.
If you're the type of person that subscribes into multiple main events, this is the second main event.
What do you mean subscribe?
To me, main event means one.
The last match?
No.
Because sometimes
they put a match after
the last
main
match
event.
Is going to be Charlotte versus Asuka.
Right. Everyone says last year Roman Reigns was in the main event versus The Undertaker. To me, the main event last year was Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. It was for the highest belt in the company.
Which was last?
Roman versus Undertaker
was last. Anyway,
and I understand why they subscribe to that theory, but I understand that I'm wrong on that theory. But
this is
second main event.
This is one of the. I mean, there are 5, 7, 8, 9. There's a lot of main events, but that's what WrestleMania is.
Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali is probably the main event of the pre-show.
Of the main event of the pre-show. I don't know. Forget it. Let's get back to AJ Styles and Shinsuke.
Good. It's about time.
Shinsuke, Saudi Arabia. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. A match that, gosh, I really am looking forward to. You said you're not looking forward to it? I know you don't. Shinsuke, he can kick. But where is his... Why doesn't he suplex someone, right? Isn't that your point? Let me make your point for you. Shinsuke Nakamura has knees and feet. And other wrestlers do as well. Why don't you make your point?
I don't feel the need to talk about on this video why Shinsuke is a bad wrestler. I could do a whole nother video on that.
Oh, guys, I'm so sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
Need to face.
Let me explain it this way.
Need to face.
Shinsuke Nakamura has never shown that he can wrestle.
He's in the main event of WrestleMania 34.
Yes, he's a great kickboxer.
He beat 29 other participants in the Royal Rumble
by not doing any. Well, no, that's not true. He did one wrestling move.
Which one?
Exploder suplex.
He did do a suplex? I said suplex.
He has one wrestling move.
So who's going to win this match? I'll let you pick first on this.
All right. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win this match.
Shinsuke Nakamura is going to win this match. AJ Styles loses to Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm going to make my prediction, then I'm going to ask you who won the one in Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, Shinsuke's going to win.
Okay.
Shinsuke's going to win. And did AJ win the one in Japan?
Nope, Shinsuke won the one in Japan.
Really? Wow, they want a rubber match. Which...
One thing WWE never
ever
has done
is a rubber match.
I should say, for the first time in history, they did with Matt Hardy, is give you a reason to go watch some other promotion.
Right.
So they don't care about a rubber match.
It never happened. It's not Nick Cannon.
It's not canon.
Canon to
there
this
you go.
situation.
Very good.
It's not canon to this situation.
Second of all,
never happened.
There's going to be a shake-up in a month, and AJ is going to be going over to Raw. In my opinion, he's the big money man. He's proven himself. He is the company man now. He is the John Cena, and Vince McMahon's going to want him on Raw. The only reason I pick Shinsuke is because of the shakeup coming.
Yeah, AJ's been on top, and he's done it well for a while. I'm giving it to Shinsuke just because I know that everybody's ravenous about him, and you want a big surprise at WrestleMania. I don't know. It just feels like Shinsuke is what's going to happen.
Yep, and he'll hold the title for a couple months, not very long. He's every once in a while they give a wrestler who's done above average, and when I say this, I'm talking about of the 5 things that they look for. Main thing being merchandise sales. They give them the world title to test them out. Mm-hmm. Kevin Owens being an example. Yeah. Sheamus being an example. Jack Swagger, Alberto Del Rio. They give them a title, and they hold that title for a very short period of time, about 3 months. And if they don't start shooting financially into the ranks of the main eventers, they don't start earning the same as AJ Styles and Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns and Randy Orton, then they get pushed back to a mid-card level. That's what's going to happen here. He'll hold the title for a couple months. He will lose the title, and then he will be an U.S. title U.S. champion.
No Americans as U.S. champion for a while, I guess. I don't know.
Randy Orton is
he's right
Bobby
now.
Was.
Yeah,
well, actually, he's Canadian, so never mind.
Who is?
Bobby. So Randy Orton.
Okay, so that's it. And you know what? Of all the main events, this main event is... Gosh, everyone's ravenous about it, and I think it's gonna be a great match, but I'm not looking forward to it even as much as the tag team grudge matches.
Yeah,
you know, the tag team grudge matches. I'm looking forward to AJ Styles, and I love AJ Styles. I love to watch AJ Styles.
I love AJ Styles too.
Shinsuke
for me is the same as Finn in the ring. Neither of them wrestle. They both just kick a shit ton.
And my favorite
And
move,
at least
I've said it 1,000
ahead.
times, my favorite move in wrestling is you kick somebody in the face. Any version of Sweet Chin Music, Daniel Bryan, all those things. And Shinsuke...
I was going to say, Daniel Bryan and Shawn Michaels.
Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn's finisher.
And how much do those people, Sami Zayn, Shawn Michaels, Daniel Bryan, the people that you actually list, that you love, they're kicking someone in the face, how much of them actually do wrestling moves? They all do wrestling moves.
They all do.
So it is capable. You're capable of wrestling. That's my problem.
What I was saying was, since that's my favorite move, I do enjoy seeing people get kicked really hard in the face. And knee to face, I love it. Love the knee to the face. Same thing.
I do like certain aspects of Shinsuke Nakamura. I love the Kinshasa. I think it's great. I just wish that I didn't have to wait through a 20-minute match, 15-minute match, 13-minute match to see the one move.
Yeah.
Because they don't do anything else the whole time. Same thing with Finn. That's why I'm looking forward to the Intercontinental match more than the WWE title match. Because at least in the Intercontinental match, Seth Rollins and Miz will be wrestling. Mm-hmm. The more people you put them in a match with them, the more it hides the fact that they can't wrestle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, are you talking like you're done jokingly, or do you not realize we haven't done the main event?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, what do you mean?
Oh, you said, and I guess that's it. And then you started talking and about
No.
I wasn't
saying...
I thought you were like starting towards the sign off for the prop fest from here. I was like, does he know that we didn't talk about Brock versus Roman?
No. I wasn't saying that's it, we're done. I'm saying that's it for those two. I wanted to say more about it, and I just don't have as much interest in that as I do the other matches, and I feel like I should. So I do like AJ though. I don't know.
AJ is I talk like Bobby Roode's my favorite guy, and when coming out of TNA, when I was saying the people I wanted Bobby Roode as 1 and AJ as 2 to come over, but because of how they're using Bobby right now, he is a heel. He is right now. Miz, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens are the 3 best heels in the company.
Yeah,
Bobby Roode's better than all of them. But he's not a heel. We're waiting for the new Ric Flair.
And you told me that.
They call him, they say he is Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H calls him Triple H, you know.
And you've told me that, but I haven't seen it yet.
We haven't seen it yet. And
it wasn't
right
NXT?
now, he's so good. But right now, we've got a watered down Bobby Roode because his merchandise sales were through the roof coming out of NXT. Yeah. And no one's is coming like that. He's outsold anyone in NXT. He was beating out main roster people from NXT. So Vince McMahon said, money, make him a face, let the marks buy too.
Yeah.
But I assume that pretty soon those numbers are going to come back down to earth and he'll get switched over.
I thought they actually they accomplished the heel turn the other night, maybe 2 weeks ago. But
when he hit Randy after
he hit Randy after the match and everything, I thought that was the beginning of it, and I was like, that didn't feel like a heel turn, but it was kind of a heel move, but didn't really feel like a heel turn. I've missed heel turns recently. Somebody turned heel, and I was like, but he was frustrated. So everything's good. I don't know. I was like, I'd have done it, and I'm a good guy. I'd have done the same thing.
Well, that's debatable. All right, so the final match. Maybe not the last match of the night, but the main event.
This is literally the main event and the match I'm most looking forward to.
This is the match I'm second most looking forward to.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. Good. Yeah, this actually is the match I'm most looking forward to. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I wore my Roman Reigns t-shirt. Huge fan of Roman Reigns. I've heard about it's been planned for over a year for Roman Reigns. The guy who doesn't know anything about what's going on outside of WWE knows that this has been the plan for over a year for Roman Reigns to win. I also know that if I know that, then everyone knows it. Mm-hmm. If I know that, everyone knows it. Roman Reigns was my pick until I found that out. And I'm actually happy either way. If Brock wins, I'm ecstatic. If Roman wins, I'm ecstatic. But I love me a monster on top. I love me a bad guy monster on top. Brock Lesnar came out and said, once again, if I lose, you won't see me anymore. I'm going back to UFC. I mean, Brock said that through Heyman.
Paul said
But there's obviously more information out than I know, right? On this.
Well, kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pretend like I didn't find out that it was a year in the making. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't this, that, and the other, and I'll pick Roman Reigns. That's what I'm waiting for, is for Roman Reigns to beat Brock Lesnar. That's what I've been
there's a lot of little pieces of information here that needs to be weighed in on the scale. First of all, when they fought WrestleMania 31,
and Seth Rollins
included, before WrestleMania 31 actually happened, it was leaked that Brock Lesnar signed a contract to stay.
And it was leaked that he was signed to stay.
To stay.
Okay.
So we went in thinking he was leaving for UFC, but if you were a smark, you knew that he had signed.
Right.
So it made it. If you go back and watch my 31 predictions, I wasn't sure. It was actually, I was picking the side of Roman's going to win it, and that was a surprise because everyone was convinced that Brock was going to keep it because he just signed to stay.
Mm-hmm.
That was the case. It was originally Roman's obviously going to win because Brock's leaving, but then once they announced that, they were like, well, they're not going to keep him and then not let him have the title.
Right.
Which they did, but it wasn't through Roman. We haven't heard anything. As of right now, the last thing we heard is he was seen recently taking pictures with Dana White.
Yep, when he should have been at a WWE event.
He didn't show up, all that stuff.
Didn't show up.
Exactly. But we didn't know nothing that I'm aware
Negotiating
of
ploy.
that says he is doing anything. He hasn't signed. He hasn't committed to WWE. He hasn't committed to UFC. And if that is the actual case, I'm not sure WWE is going to leave the belt on Brock until they get him under contract. So that leans towards Roman. I feel that based on that last time, or even letting that spoiler out last time, was to make you think Brock was going to get it.
I'm not listening to you at all. I'm so sorry. You're making a great point. I should not have interrupted you because our fans are listening to you going, what a great point he's making or whatever. I'm laughing at chat. I'm laughing that somebody just said, I think Brock Lesnar is going to keep it and take the belt to UFC. He's going to defend the United Universal Championship in the Octagon. And you know what? That might happen.
That might happen. So WWE is not going to let that happen.
I guess.
WWE is not going to let him. First of all, when he signs with UFC, he still has to serve his suspension. So that means he leaves and then waits a year and a half to go to UFC.
Yeah.
So I don't actually believe he's leaving. I believe he's already signed his WWE contract. The reason it was leaked last time was to get you to think Brock was going to win so that when you didn't win it, it was more of a surprise. I think the reason we didn't get to do it here at this time is because he has signed and there's a good chance they're leaving the belt on him. Okay. Everyone knows Roman's doing it.
He has signed.
I believe he has signed with WWE. It has not been leaked this time.
Right.
Because they want you to think Roman's getting it because they're not going to put it on Brock if he doesn't have a contract.
Right.
I think that just like 31, the mirror of that, I think that that's one of the things to consider.
Is Carmella going to
cash in on Roman?
Cash in on Brock and Roman?
No, because it's a SmackDown title. She's cashing in on Shinsuke.
I told you it don't matter.
Does matter.
I don't.
So that's what I'm saying. Also, about that. Also, it's one thing for them to hint at stuff.
Yeah.
But the promo that Paul Heyman gave on Raw, we are leaving. He didn't even say if we lose, we're leaving. He said we are leaving. He implied I'm beating him, I'm taking the belt, we're taking the belt to UFC. In fact, I think he said those exact words. That I'm taking the belt to UFC. That makes you think he's not winning, which makes me think he is winning, but not going to UFC. So all the things seem to me like Brock.
Yeah, but if Brock keeps it, then who finally takes it off Brock outside of WrestleMania, not at WrestleMania?
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda Rousey.
So everyone that's in here going, all the smarks
How dare you?
All the
How dare you?
all the smarks. All the smarks that said Braun Strowman should have won the Elimination Chamber, and then my explanation is Roman Reigns. This is a 3-year storyline. It has to come to an end. It doesn't matter who wins this match.
Eventually.
It does not matter who wins this match. This storyline was written for this. This is the season finale, and Roman finally gets his match with Brock.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who wins. It's over. I mean, they can fight again. You can add to the story, but this is what it was there for. You can't put Braun in that match. It's Roman's match.
Okay.
But then people say, yeah, but Braun's had a storyline since...
It was supposed to be Braun.
You know, it was all year long. I
Braun.
wanted it to be Braun.
I did.
It's like, and that's great, but even though that story did naturally develop over the year, it wasn't his story. It was Roman's story. But that doesn't mean that you can't leave it on Brock and then have that story play out in SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So, who takes it off of him? Braun.
Mm-hmm.
Or things you don't know about, like Bobby Lashley's on his way back and wants to fight Brock Lesnar. Bobby, I know you do that, but
I'm sorry,
has always had a hard-on for Bobby Lashley, and he's become quite a... he's pretty much been the top of TNA for the last 4 or 5 years. He's much better than the Bobby Lashley you remember. Now, does that make it okay? Nah, but if he comes back and wants to fight Brock without the title, it doesn't make as much sense.
Right.
I see Samoa Joe Brock as more interesting than Roman Reigns Brock.
Yeah, the Samoa Joe Brock match that happened was really exciting.
Right.
It was really good.
And so I just see all these things with Brock as a better option. It's just so much that tells me that they should give it to Brock.
And let me give you a 5-year-old's perspective. Every single person that Brock fights, the only person that could ever beat Brock Lesnar is Goldberg, from my 5-year-old son's perspective. But every single match, Brock 100% is going to win until he fought Samoa Joe, and Vinny thought Samoa Joe had his number. Vinny thought Samoa Joe was going to beat Brock.
Wow.
And that's from a 5-year-old perspective. But everybody else, not a chance, but Samoa Joe was going to beat him.
All that being said, I have decided that Roman Reigns is still going to win it.
You think Roman Reigns is still going to win it?
And that's because of what we're about to talk of next.
Ah, yes. So, The Undertaker. Is that where are we done with that?
That's where we're headed.
I made the most foolish prediction of my life. I called you up maybe a couple hours before Monday Night Raw and had a prediction. And I said, you can quote me on this. I think that John Cena is going to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania. And then I watched Raw, and how obvious it is that I was wrong, and that match is not going to happen.
If it was going to happen, Undertaker would have come out and said something. Do something.
He would have done something.
Done something.
Which means that the main event of WrestleMania this year is going to be John Cena versus Tim in the second row. That's where he gets his big break. Tim in the second row versus John Cena in the main event, and I've got to say that is the match I am most looking forward to.
And I would agree with you, except I believe that Tim in the second row is going to be Braun Strowman's partner.
You know how pissed John's going to be about that? He's going to be so pissed he's going to fight him in the main event. That's 2 matches for Tim, 1 for Cena, and 0 for The Undertaker.
We do the math for you, like the Royal Rumble.
We do the math, so you
So
don't
do you
have
want
to.
to tell me what happens here actually?
What actually happens?
What actually happens?
Okay, so, somebody just wrote that,
We're not even going to talk about that nonsense. I've already said to my stream, if American Badass shows up,
that was my prediction for
I will not watch wrestling
the
anymore.
final Monday Night Raw. I told you years ago that Undertaker's going to come back one time as the American Badass. And right now, if he's retired and going to come back one more time, rolling, not as the Undertaker, as the Badass. And John Cena has been like almost heel about this and telling him to No, he'd pick his ball up and go home, and he has no balls, so he can't pick them up. He keeps telling him to touch himself. I don't know what he's doing. But the point is, I think it is possible we see a motorcycle at WrestleMania. And not the dead man on a motorcycle. That'd just be stupid. I mean, the American would just be stupid.
There is only one piece of information.
Because the hat went down, the retirement...
And that's what people say.
And I said,
but then why does he show up on Raw 25 as The Undertaker? As the dead man. People say, well, he retired his hat and gloves. Yeah, he wouldn't have shown up on Raw 25.
And then he showed up on Raw 25, and what he said was, I know I said I retired before, but I retire again. And then it was like, okay. And then Jim Ross said, wow, what does that mean? I'm like, what does this mean? I thought that he was retired, and then he came back and said, I'm back to retire. And then he said, well, when will we see him again? And I was like, okay, that was a dumb thing to say, Jim Ross, but I guess he's not retired because you don't say, what does that mean? So,
but he didn't actually say retired.
No, he didn't.
He said, yeah.
It was kind of like
implied.
Yeah, he implicated all over everyone's faces. It was just like
and that's
implication
the thing. He's
everywhere.
been implying since last year. He implied
He's been
by
implying
putting
for
his
15
stuff,
years.
In the ring and leaving his stuff. He implied he was retired. He implied with
he might just be very forgetful. He might just keep leaving his shit everywhere. Has anybody ever thought of that? Maybe he's not retiring. Maybe he's just very clumsy with his clothes, and he's like, somebody will get that. And he goes to the back. Where the hell's my motorcycle?
We got 15 minutes.
All right, we gotta continue on then.
So he leaves all his clothes in the ring. He implies he retires. He comes out and he makes a speech. Comes out as the Undertaker again, and still implies he's retired. And then this whole thing goes on. So what?
This is so obvious.
There's only one piece of information that actually makes it a good. I thought that maybe he shows up as Biker Taker.
Go ahead.
And that is
Biker Taker.
I love it. Is
he lost his hat because he left it somewhere, so he's got to show up with the bandana.
That is because Kid Rock is being inducted in the Hall of Fame, and he plays his music.
Absolutely, Kid Rock is being inducted.
Did his music, one of his themes.
Yes.
That's the only thing that shows any kind of there is some thought to it.
There's other things too.
No, there's nothing else.
He
Anything
keeps putting his hat down.
That's
proof. It's not even evidence.
Proof.
It's proof.
It's not proof. Anyway,
the proof is in the pudding.
I will be done, guys. That will be the end of wrestling. WWE for me. I will stop watching.
I predict not only does he come out as Biker Taker, but that Spec is not done after that, and Spec enjoys the match, and I
won't know. I'll watch it. I'll hear the biker music. He'll come out, and I'll shut it off.
Now he's going to, because I made a deal about it. But here's the thing:
I actually
Undertaker
will
put on a better match as Biker Taker as
why he never did when he was. His career. There is a section in the middle where he stopped wrestling.
I know it was like
it was when he was Biker Taker.
It was like a weird thing he went through just for in the middle for a little bit.
He did not wrestle when he was terrible as Biker Taker. It is a black stain on his career.
Yeah.
And it would be a shit stain on the wrestling. I honestly said this on my stream, and I stick by it. I would rather a remake of the storylines of Katie Vick or Hand than I would to see Biker Taker here. And I would rather them write a storyline where someone has incest with a necrophilic incest and gives birth to a hand as one giant storyline than see Biker Taker.
Well, let me give you another reason why it might happen. As Biker Taker, he doesn't have to fly over the top rope. He doesn't have to old school. He doesn't have to jump. All he has to do is pound John Cena. And he's getting old.
I don't see it. So how does it play out? Tell me how it plays out.
Taker beats John Cena.
Taker beats John Cena.
I am a huge John Cena fan. I love John Cena fan almost as much as I love Tim, the guy next to him in the audience. But I want Taker to I want Taker to win. I don't want Taker to lose 2 years in a row. John Cena doesn't need it. There is the history that John Cena's never had it. John Cena does not need it. And I love John Cena's final speech. I lost this, I lost this, I lost this, I lost this. I don't know if anybody's been noticing that he hasn't won a match in 6 months. And I've been noticing. So you end that not by beating The Undertaker and saying, I'm back, I'm all those losses don't count. You have him lose to The Undertaker and go away. And come back and start a different story.
Right.
a winning story. The end of this is he loses. I don't quit. I just don't win. John Cena. Bumper sticker.
Bumper sticker. All right, so how it plays out is exactly like this. Final match of the night is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins and becomes victorious, and everyone starts booing. That's not the WrestleMania they want to send away. The reason why Undertaker never accepted was because they needed a way to get people cheering and happy after Roman Reigns wins the belt. That is why I pick Roman Reigns. After Roman Reigns wins the belt, Undertaker's bong happens, and Undertaker comes down to the ring, and the Undertaker-John Cena match happens after, and is the main event of the show after Roman Reigns wins the title, so that the final view is Undertaker victorious over John Cena, send people home happy, as opposed to
That
Roman
would be
Reigns.
happy. Do they have a match? Or
Yeah.
do they have a street fight?
Nah, they have a match.
They have a match?
They have a match.
Sanctioned?
Yeah, sanctioned tagged with a thing, and Undertaker wins, beats John Cena. And I agree. There's no reason to give John Cena. There's no reason to Undertaker to take a loss again. You're just kind of hurting his legacy. At some point, it becomes useless. There's no reason to give John Cena the win because he's just going to disappear 2 days later.
Yeah, he's not around for it. He said
he's about to film Dr. Doolittle and Duke Nukem, so he's going away. There's yeah.
And he just had his whole speech, maybe 4 months ago,
Yeah.
about I guess I'm going away, and if the WWE needs me, they'll call me. And I think they called him and said, we need you to lose to the Undertaker. So come do 4 months of losing. I mean, it was after he said I'm leaving that he came back and lost.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, I agree. I think that too many people make a big deal about Undertaker's losses. I think Undertaker took exactly the right losses at exactly the right times. I think that I've said before, I don't want this match to happen. I'm very upset this match is happening at all.
I was, until I realized he was going to come out as Biker Taker, and then I was like, it's perfect. He retired. He's coming back as one last thing, and I've been calling for that for years.
Horrible.
I said he's going to come back one
him,
time as the
I
Biker.
don't mind him coming and doing a show as Biker Taker. I don't want him to do this show like this.
And
this shouldn't be happening.
I want him to do it like Brock Lesnar versus John Cena. I want him to come out and just beat the crap out of John Cena. Maybe not even have a match.
No,
just beat him down, run
right.
over him with the motorcycle, or come out and sing "Rollin', Rollin', Rollin'" as the dead man.
All right. So, who leaves as a SmackDown Women's Champion?
The funny thing is I picked
Charlotte
Flair. And I almost said Asuka. But I do think that Carmella turns it in and loses.
Okay.
She turns it in and loses.
After
holding it for that long.
But that is not a way to do it with Charlotte. That's a way to do it with your Asuka.
That is the way to do it with Asuka.
Asuka not only is
so I was about to say
Charlotte,
Asuka leaves as champion.
Asuka leaves as champion because she's going to beat Charlotte and then fight a match afterwards and beat Carmella as well.
Yeah. The wonderfully fun scare that
I think it's going to be knockdown, brutal. Asuka gets the hardest match that she's ever fought. And she's going to be dead. Maybe they raise her arm by raising her arm like this, and she's on the mat, and then Carmella's music hits.
The fun scare is that Carmella gets the first pin on Asuka.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's going to be like, come on.
Yep.
And it doesn't happen.
Now, the best way to do it is have Asuka. I've already gone through the faces. You saw I did that.
Unless they want to end her streak.
Asuka beats Charlotte, and Charlotte heel turns on Asuka and beats her down to death. Then you get, now Charlotte's a heel. Charlotte's a better natural. She's a natural heel.
Yes.
And you have too many faces, so you move her over to the heel side. You
excuse me.
You get Carmella to then come down and still fit. I mean, you turn Asuka into this unbeatable, which she already is, but that's what they seem to want to be doing anyway. So Asuka, that's what I think is going to happen with that.
Yeah. And maybe Carmella. Would be fun to have Carmella.
It would have been fun to cover. When I was writing WrestleMania myself, I wanted it to go the other way. I wanted Rousey.
Actually, if Charlotte wins, Carmella could turn it
Right,
and win.
and that's the thing. If Charlotte wins, then Carmella can turn it and win. With you, when I asked this question, I was like, I'd be okay with him saying Carmella here because he had Charlotte winning.
Yeah.
But not with Asuka.
Right.
Asuka doesn't beat Charlotte and then lose to Carmella. When I wrote it in my head, I said Asuka goes with Alexa Bliss. Ronda Rousey screws over Steph by going to signing with SmackDown and goes against says she's going against Charlotte. Shows up and beats down Charlotte. Carmella cashes in, gets the belt, and then have Carmella fight a different match versus someone else, and Carmella, Charlotte versus Ronda. I wanted the belt to transition somewhere else and make it not as. I think it worked out better this way, but I was trying to get Carmella to get the belt off of Charlotte a while ago in a different fashion. So, any returns or special surprises you wanna?
Nah, I got nothing. I got nothing on who's injured, what percent of injury they're at, all that stuff.
Dean is 3 to 4 months into a 9-month healing, so he won't be there.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe should be ready any day. He could show up. Kaz is almost 100% going to be there.
That's awesome. And
I'm not almost going to be there. He's cleared, is what I should say.
He's cleared.
So I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know about any other injuries that I can think of that exist. Jeff Hardy has already been cleared. He was in the final deletion. He didn't do any wrestling. He didn't do any wrestling, but he showed up there.
I gotta go back and watch that.
As his TNA character, Brother Nero.
Okay.
So we don't know how that plays out. We don't know if when he comes back he's going to be Jeff Hardy, if he's going to be Brother Nero, if that's that's a whole thing. But there's I got nothing else really. There's still question marks on where is Elias going to be. Is he literally just going to play music, or is he going to be bronze partner, or is he going to be in the battle royal? Or
I love Elias's bronze partner. I know I said
that
Kane,
was the first thing I thought of. I thought of when they said you need a partner. I said it's going to be Elias.
It would Elias,
and that was because I originally had Braun versus Elias as the match.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Well, guys, that was it. That's our predictions. Ran about 2 hours ish. I hope that's not too long for you. I don't honestly care if it was too long for you because that's how long it took us to predict it.
I care.
If you like the video, make sure you click the like button, click follow for more videos like this. Follow my other channel, YouTube More on Wrestling, where most of these videos will be posted in the future. As I said, my Twitch channel is in the description down below, as are the YouTube channels. Thank you for coming out.
And
Vinny, thank you for being here.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, Spec. I just like to say thank you.
You're welcome. This is Spec and Vinny saying goodbye.
Signing off.